Maybe I'm hallucinating, but I woke up in the Asia's longest high-speed track in the lap of the Mercedes-AMG GLE 63 S Coupe. It's brutal, it's lethal, it's a tank, it's a missile, perhaps all rolled into one. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet hit the subscribe button, do that now while we hit the top speed in the Mercedes, in the racetrack, the high-speed racetrack of NATRAX, and let's see where we get. You know, NATRAX track is the 5th largest high-speed racetrack in the world. That's a huge achievement for India and we should all be very proud of. And this AMG is a fiery 4-litre V8 twin-turbo engine which has 600 plus horses under its hood. Now, let's go for the kill. I'm going to switch off the AC. Yes, and I'm going to put this on race mode. There we are. And now I'm going for it. Let's do the top speed. My right leg is completely engaged with the accelerator and I'm not going to take it up till we achieve the mark that we have set out for. It's a parabolic curve right now and I'm still not going down. I'm at 240. You don't know how I'm feeling under my stomach. I've got butterflies, crocodiles, everything coming up. But I think somehow I have to slow over because I see some low flying birds. And I've got to be very mindful of this because this racetrack is fenced from all its sides. It's 23 kilometers of fencing, but you can't do anything about the low flying birds. I just spotted one and I had to stop by. But I think we touched 280. I'm going to give it a go again. And there we go. I'm maxing out. 105. 159. And that's 200 coming up. That's 250 and the parabolic curve is coming. This is where it sometimes gets a little scary also. But you have to keep the accelerator engaged because if you lift it up, you lose all that you have gained. We are at 270. I have to keep an eye everywhere. It's 295! I think there's a speed limiter. We're not going to touch beyond that. This is a heavy car, weighs 2.4 tons. It does throw its weight around the corners like this or on the flats. Perhaps the only thing which is not letting it take off because the kind of power it's got, it can really take off, you know. Now, I can't really comment on the active roll bar because the track is built in such a way, the parabolic curves, like this that you are seeing right now, or the straights, the geometry precise straights, you know, the roads are so, I mean, there's not a single wrinkle on the road that you will find, so you can't really test it. But the chunky steering will remind you that you have a monster at your back and all the 4 wheels are at the mercy of your whip. A typical AMG steering, flat bottom and solidly built. This 4-litre V8 engine brings EQ boost mild hybrid system that provides that relentless acceleration with 850 Nm of torque in that 2500 to 5000 RPM band, which keeps it up the 0 to 100 mark with its counterpart, which is the X5M competition, the X6M competition, the Porsche Cayenne Turbo, the Audi RS Q8. In fact, I've drawn up a comparison chart which I'm just dropping right now and I'm going to freeze the screen for you to digest. Since it's a 63S Coupe, the S means that it has 22 horsepower extra from the Q-Boost startup alternator. Now let's pull over, let me show you what's inside the hood, how the engine looks like, because that's something that you would love to watch. And also how magnificent and beastly the AMG 63S Coupe is all about from the outside. Now that we have the whole racetrack to ourselves, might as well make the most use of it. There's a reason why I parked it like this, because to show you the curvature of the surface and how beastly the AMG GLE 63 looks like. Of course, what is the AMG machine? It's all about the engine. So let me show you the engine harness first. I'll just fire up the boot, and this is what the machine is all about. This is the AMG machine. This is all the setup, the V8, the whole engine put together. And this is what powers it to get it 850 Newton of torque and the 4-liter engine. This is a very throaty engine. Of course, from the looks, I don't think any other AMG and Mercedes grows on you as much as this one, because this looks beefy. The grille is very, very conspicuous. It's not a regular Merc. It is made to look power. It screams power from all angles. The 22-inch rim, the red calipers tells you that this is meant a special car, not meant for all kinds of roads, but perhaps a racetrack. Then you get the side step to climb in, though it's not too low. You can always go up because it has an air suspension which can lift it if you want to go on a hardcore off-road mode. You get a very decent boot in case you want to make that trip. Something which I like about the X5M competition also is that it comes with a complete boot. The cars in this category needs to be very, very well spaced out, because you want to go for a long trek or a long drive, you need to have suitcases. Though the coupe would not have that much of capacity as an X5M competition for that matter, but still it has its own space and it's quite loaded. There you are. Now let's go inside. Let me show you a few things, the tech part, which will again leave you mind blowing. Now this is a very familiar M-Bux of Mercedes with a gigantic screen. What I want to show you is, all these are, of course you guys are aware of this, but this, the track pace. Now when you press on this reminds you that this car is made for track. In fact, it also gives you the option of a drag race, which we'll do now. Now moving on, you have the new Mercedes-AMG app. I've already paired like an owner with this GLE 63S. It is a process, but not that complicated. It's very simple, 2-step process. Download the app. Then right now I'm in the status that it shows that I have this car with me right now in the app. If you can see, I can do loads of things. I can be sitting in London, US. I can access the car in totality, right from engine, whether it's right now the engine is on because it's showing me the engine is on, whether it's from the vehicle status, lock status, where it is, like even stuff like vehicle search. If you've parked the car somewhere, it will navigate me down. The most important, what I love is the valet protect. Cars like this, you seldom give it to a valet, but if you do give it to valet, you can geofence that, and it will tell you if the valet takes it out of the vicinity, then you can activate that like this with a simple button. It gets activated. Now you can choose the radius 1.5 kilometers, and somehow if he tries to get naughty, it will send you messages in the app, and then you can create havoc. Yes. Let's do the drag race and let's see if we can do a 0 to 100 check on this. There we go. Oh, I did it in 4.47 seconds. And I think that can be made better. Let's give it one more go. There we go. Let's see if we can break the speed. These are ideal conditions. The roads are perfect, but I guess we are completely brewed up. There's too much stuff in the boot. I'll give it to that, maybe. I could do 3.8 seconds someday.